G'day, it's Rusty from Rusty's Outback Adventures, and in today's video I want to do something a little bit different. I want to run through all the camera gear that I take with me whenever we go away, whether it be a day trip, a weekend, or weeks at a time. So as you can see, I've got a fair bit of stuff laid out on the table in front of me. I'll just briefly describe the different pieces of equipment, and then I'll go through in detail and explain how we use each one of them. Now this DSLR camera, which is a digital single lens reflex, that's a Nikon D7100 that I carry, and an 18 to 200mm lens. That's a really versatile camera. So I've got my phone. If you want a quick photo or video with the phone, you can do that. And I've also carry an iPad which has got my maps and things on as well, and it's also got still and video. Speaking of tripods and speaking of cameras, I'm actually filming this on my other camera, and I've got it sitting on a tripod. Okay, that's my go-to camera. We've got a drone, very handy to have a drone. This is a DJI Phantom 4 Pro, and the control screen is the DJI Crystalsky, and I've also got a little GoPro Hero 5, and that's a really cool little thing, so it gives me the versatility for that. Compact and lightweight. The other thing is microphones. There's a little, this is a little microphone that plugs into the side of the GoPro. You can also plug into the camera. I've also got a Rode mic that's sitting up there on the camera right now, which is a shotgun mic that fits on the hot shoe, and it plugs into the side of the camera, and it's quite directional, so you don't get a lot of this side noise as well if you're outside. The other thing I use a bit, and you probably see them in the videos, is I've got a lapel mic, and that's the little jobby that clips onto your shirt here. So pretty versatile to have one of those as well. And I've also got some lights. So at night time we need some lights, and these are battery operated LED adjustable, and I'll just go through how we set them up shortly. Okay, so that's sort of like a bit of an overview, and I'll just clear the desk a bit and we'll talk about one thing at a time. Now at the moment my Nikon D7100 is pretty much my go-to camera. It's always down the side of the seat, so if you need to take a photo in a hurry or a quick bit of video, it's always there. This is a crop sensor body, and the lens is an 18 to 200 Nikon, and it also has quite a useful range. 18mm is quite a wide field of view, and when you crank it up to 200mm, obviously the field of view comes in quite narrow, but also brings the subject closer to the camera. So, you know, if something's an object's a fair way away, you get that zoom function. This has got 2 SD cards in it. Most cameras nowadays have got 1 or 2, and the beauty of this camera having the 2 cards is I can actually tell the camera to record all the video clips to card 1 and put all the stills on card 2. So it gives me a redundancy, but it's sort of like half redundancy. If I have an issue with a card, I might lose one or the other. But with normal photography, I write the image to both cards at the same time. However, it doesn't do that with the video. Still a really good camera. As I said, it's pretty versatile with that particular lens that I'm using. Alright, let's move on. Let's look at the GoPro. Now this is my little GoPro. This is the GoPro Hero 5 Black. I think you're up to a GoPro 9 now, so it's not a new one. I find it is really cool thing to have. Quick and easy to use. Pretty much shoot a lot of video on it and don't really use it for stills. It has a really cool feature that actually has a voice recognition function. You actually tell it to start taking a video or stop taking the video, and the same with the photo. So yeah, that's pretty good. It shoots in 1080p, various frames rates. So I usually shoot 30 or 50 frames a second, and it is a really good unit. The batteries last about 25-30 minutes. I carry 2 with a little charger. I bought an aftermarket. The audio on these is not particularly good, so I bought an aftermarket housing, and the housing allows me to put the camera in, and also, it says here you're trying to do it in a hurry. The other thing it gives me is a way to hold it. I mean, you need some sort of mount for this housing, whether it be the original camera in its own little housing or one of these. I've also got an audio adapter. This is the GoPro's audio adapter. Also plugs into the GoPro, and it now has a microphone input. And I briefly touched on that little mic if I can find it. Yeah, there we go. So I can plug this little microphone in, little 3.5mm stereo mic. So if I'm filming looking that way, I can talk to it and it'll pick me up. If I'm doing it the old selfie way and I can point it towards me, I can use the lapel mic as well. So this is just an audio adapter that allows me to do all that. Another thing I came with it is your selfie stick, and it was only recently I worked out that this little stick has, I wondered what this bottom fitting was, and I screwed it out, and if you look at it, the legs actually fold out and make a little tripod, and then you can screw it back onto, says he trying to do it quickly, so you can mount that on there, and then you can put Mr. GoPro on here. Alright, so now all of a sudden I've got a hands-free little video unit that I can, and I think if you've watched the 8-day prospecting camping trip we went on, we were detecting nuggets and digging them up and rubbish as well. I had this sitting just like that, being able to film what I was doing as I went. So hands-free, that's really handy little unit to have, and at the beginning I didn't realise the stick had that. The other thing that I've got is the little Gorilla Grip mount, which is a little tripod in itself, and it can be flexible and wrap around things. That's a handy little jobby to have. Typically these adapters are what GoPro provide in their kits, and that's got that same 20x1/4 thread, which allows me to adapt it to a tripod and then mount it onto the camera and use it as a tripod. I've also got one of these Camzilla mounts, which is a suction cup on the windscreen. I can then adjust it, lock it on. This adjustment also gives me, oh, says he's doing it up. This allows me to mount that same 1/4x20 onto here, so I can then have the camera mounted on the dash. So again, it's hands-free. Camera's sitting up here on the windscreen. One thing to remember when you mount them on the windscreen is make sure the windscreen's clean. I think the Lucky Bay video and some of the Augusta trip we did, windscreen was pretty filthy on the car. So yeah, one thing to remember about that. Okay, so that's the little GoPro, and okay, let's have a look at microphones. We talked about microphones in a minute. I'll just talk about microphones as well. I've already mentioned the 3.5mm jack stereo mic with a little cat furry thing on the top of it. Stops the wind. The other thing I mentioned earlier was the lapel mic. Now the lapel mic is what you see clipped onto the shirt. There's a spare mic as well. So this one will clip onto your shirt, run the cable down to a transmitter, and this is wireless, so we've got a transmitter unit in my pocket. So all you see is the mic clipped on. The receiver unit has a clip that clips onto the back of the receiver. And if I can do this quickly, I'll just show you what it does. Right, so that locks on there, and then that fits onto your hot shoe of your camera, so it gives me somewhere to mount it. If I can just demonstrate on this one, I can actually put this up on here. So I can mount that receiver on here. Then there's a cord that comes from here down into the audio adapter, or on the sake of the camera, you've got a little lead that allows you to plug from the receiver into the camera. So the beauty of the lapel mic is that it doesn't matter where I go. I'm not limited by being close to the mic to pick up the audio properly. And in a static situation like this, I'm using the Rode mic, and I'll just show you a picture of that. The Rode mic is a shotgun style directional mic, and when I'm sitting the same distance from the camera as I am now, that mic works really well. the beauty of the lapel mic is it doesn't matter where I go, I can get closer to or further away from the camera, and the audio is still the same level. So that's a really cool feature to have, and I use that in several different scenarios during my filming. Okay, let's move on to lighting. Now lighting comes in two forms. For still photography you might want flash light at night if it's a bit dark, so always carry a speed light. This happens to be a Nikon one. I've got two of these, and I've got another one which is a manual third-party brand. They all work to suit your own cameras. This has been around in my kit bag for a long time, and it's, you know, a really handy thing to have. The other sort of lighting is what they call continuous lighting. These are little LED panels, battery operated, charged from the wall socket, and yeah, so that gives me enough light. I can wind it up and down, and it has a little adapter that fits onto the light, and again it's got that hot shoe mount. So if I can demonstrate on the GoPro, same sort of principle as before. That one sits on there and then gets a bit heavy, but then when I'm filming I can turn the light on and I can give me some light at night time. So it's important to have good lighting on any video that you do, and I've got two of these, and again these are, you can actually use them remotely. If someone can hold it for you, you can put it on a stand. Very handy to have, and I always carry one, but I've got two in the little kit bag, so I tend to carry them all together. Okay, let's have a look at the drone. Alright, so this is my DJI Phantom 4 Pro, which is, by today's standards, I guess it's probably a bit bigger than the new drones that are coming out. Some of them are quite small and compact. This is really easy to fly, takes really good video, really good stills, shoots up to 4K. Not that I do a lot in 4K, but I can shoot in 4K. The battery lasts about 25 minutes flight time. I carry 3 in the case, so I've always got sufficient battery reserves if I need to extended air time. The control unit is quite easy to use, and the antenna here is what talks to the drone once it's in the air. This screen, I'll just take this off here. This screen is DJI's proprietary Crystalsky, which is battery operated, and it's a lot brighter screen when you're outside in the sun. You can use the DJI app to fly the drone on a phone, an iPad, and the original reason I had the iPad was to use it for this purpose. However, outside in the sun, the screen gets a bit hard to see, so DJI come up with their own screen. There's two sizes. This is the 7.85, and there's also a 5-inch screen, and this is really easy to see during the day, quite bright, and really impressed with this. So I love taking my drone out. I love flying it. You just get a different perspective of where you are. I'll include a little bit of footage. I recently went to Augusta for a few days, and I flew out over the estuary and the river and at the river mouth. The disadvantage, I guess, of any flighted aircraft, of course, is the wind. When it's blowing a howling easterly in summer and a howling sea breeze, it's a bit difficult to put it in the air, just from a safety perspective, but easy to fly, like I said. And CASA, who is the controlling body for any aircraft, and this is an unmanned aircraft, have some set of rules and guidelines for flying. Can't go more than 120 meters, can't get within 30 meters of people, can't fly over a populated area like a beach full of people, those sort of things. And I guess if we all do the right thing and we fly our drones, we're really not going to be causing anyone any concern, and you know, get the rule makers to make the rules tougher to fly our drones. So yeah, that's my drone. So that's a quick look at the gear I take with me whenever we go out on our trips. You can have as much gear or as little gear as you need. A basic camera or a GoPro will get you going. A phone to take photos and videos. That's all you really need. The reason I do this is to document where we go and what we do, and by sharing what we do with you people, and hopefully you enjoy what you see and enjoy the trips we go on. I'll put a list of the equipment that I've got here in the description below. Now this is all my own gear. I'm not sponsored by anybody, but if anyone out there has got some photography or videography gear they'd like me to try out, please get in touch with me via my email and my channel, and I'd love to work with you guys and try out your gear. So look forward to hearing from you. So if anyone has any questions, please put them in the comments below. If you have any comments or let us know what sort of gear you guys use. I appreciate hearing from you. If you like the video, a thumbs up would be great. And if you'd like to subscribe to the channel, subscribe button's here. And if you click the bell icon, you'll get notifications of upcoming videos. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see